In the crumbling edge of the city, where sidewalks were cracked like old bones, where paint peeled off buildings like bark from dying trees, lived a young boy named Micah and his grandmother, Nana Eliza. Their tiny second floor apartment smelled of lavender and wood polish, the scent of old things held together by love and time. The windows were foggy from cold breath. The walls wore faded photos of a life once filled with music, laughter, and light. But now, the only light left came from a single white candle kept on a plate in the middle of their kitchen table. Every night, after they said grace over whatever food they had, a bruised apple, a half a loaf of bread, maybe a can of soup, they'd light the candle and Nana would pray aloud. Lord, shine where the world has gone dim. Be the flame when we are cold. Be the light when we feel lost. And Micah would watch the flame flicker like a heartbeat, dancing shadows on the walls as if God himself was nodding gently in the background. But one night, that light never came. It was the coldest night of winter, and the wind groaned through the alleyways like something alive. Snowflakes spiraled like feathers from a torn pillow. The electricity flickered once, twice, and then surrendered. Darkness. Not the quiet, sleepy kind, the deep, soul-chilling kind. The old radiator hissed and died. Nana Eliza pulled her shawl tighter. Micah grabbed the candle and struck their last match. The flame flared, hopeful, and hissed out. The wick was too damp, and the box was empty. Micah stared at the useless candle. He wanted to be brave, but he was 9, and the dark felt like it was breathing. What do we do now? He whispered, voice cracking. Nana Eliza gave a tired smile, her lips pale, her hands trembling. We wait for the Lord, baby. He may not light our candle, but he might send us a fire we didn't expect. Well, Micah didn't know what that meant, but his legs did, and he stood. He put on an oversized coat that still smelled like his father, who was gone now, and stepped into the frozen night. Each breath made a cloud in front of him. His socks soaked up the slush seeping through the cracked shoes, but he didn't turn back. At the end of the valley, behind the leaning fence and a chain-locked gate, lived Miss Rena. No one talked to Miss Rena. Her windows were always shut, her door always bolted. Kids said she was a witch, but Micah had seen things, flickers of light, the faint scent of cinnamon, and once, through the curtains, a photo of her with a little girl who wasn't around anymore. He knocked. Hard wind slapped him. The candle in his hand had frozen wax. He knocked again. Finally, the door opened a crack. Rena's face appeared, weathered like old leather, eyes sharp behind smudged glasses. What is it? Micah's teeth chattered. My candle don't light. My grandma's cold. We're all alone. There was a long silence. Then, wait here. And she shut the door. Micah was ready to walk away, heart sinking, when the door creaked open again. And this time, Raina held a heavy flashlight, a small tin of food, 2 wool blankets, and the strangest of all, a cast iron pot and a Bible tucked under one arm. "Lead the way," she muttered, stepping out into the cold. Something holy happened that night. Raina didn't just bring help. She brought herself. She set up the pot on their stovetop and started a fire in the old brick fireplace using scraps of broken chair legs and yesterday's newspaper. She handed Micah a warm towel and Nana a bowl of thick lentil stew that smelled like Christmas and memory. They didn't speak at first. Then Raina, in her deep, raspy voice, said, "You know, I haven't prayed in 20 years. Nana Eliza just smiled. "Then tonight is a good night to start again." They held hands, frail and brown and trembling, and bowed their heads. The room was filled with the sound of whispered thanks, the crackle of flames, and something else, something invisible but real. Micah couldn't name it, but he felt it. Peace, warmth, God. The candle sat, unlit, in the center of the table, but no one noticed any more. The room was already glowing with love, with hope, with connection. The kind of light that matches just can't make. The next morning, power surged back in with a whir and a hum. The heater hummed. The fridge clunked on. Outside, sunlight bounced off the fresh snow, making everything look born again. Micah walked to the kitchen table. The candle was still there, wick untouched. He touched it gently, then looked at his grandmother. "Should we light it?" Nana shook her head. "No, child." She looked toward the fireplace where Raina sat nodding off in a chair, her Bible open in her lap. That candle already did its job. It's a beautiful story. You know, when the world grows cold and your prayers seem unanswered, don't assume that God is silent. Sometimes the miracle isn't the candle being lit. It's the neighbor who knocks, the stranger who stays, or the broken who become the blessing. God's light doesn't always come from above. Sometimes it walks in through a door you were scared to knock on. God bless you, my friends.